Hey, welcome to this video. In today's video I will cover a mobility exercise that will help you to open your shoulders more. For example, in downward facing dog or in a handstand, where you need to bring your arm up close to the ear. And a lot of people have restrictions there. This is the exercise you want to do to increase this range of motion in your shoulder, so you can actually bring the arm further back and closer to the ear. This is for all levels, and what you need for this one is a couple of bolsters or several blocks if you have, so that you can build a little tower, a little structure to elevate to kind of this height maybe. So if you have a couple blocks or books or a stack of books or a little box or I don't know, some kitchen equipment, some tall pot or something you can turn around, anything works where you can build some kind of structure like this. I will talk more as we go through the exercise how to actually use it, but this is not a 2-minute video to increase your shoulder and finally increase your shoulder mobility. It's not done in 2 minutes, it's not possible, and there's a lot of explanation behind it. This is why this video is a bit longer, but once you understand the exercise, you can easily integrate it into your own flow and into your own practice. To begin, we start standing. So come to a standing position first. We're first warming up and preparing the joint, the shoulder joint, the ball and socket joint, also called the glenohumeral joint, for the upcoming mobility exercise. You don't want to jump into it when you're cold. So you can also, if you're coming back to this video, you can use the chapter markers below in your player, in the YouTube player, and jump to the other parts of the video. So we come to a standing position. We're doing controlled articular rotations, also known as CARS, just for the shoulder. We will do a video about the full CARS mobility morning routine that we do, where you actually move every single joint. So for this one, and for all the CARS, you want to, at least the CARS level 1, there's 3 levels. The level 1 is where you do your best with conscious effort to not move anything else in the body, and you only move the joint you're targeting. And then the other 2 levels are where someone or something is blocking the body actually, so you cannot move even if you want to. And the third one is like very active, very strong CARS, where you hold, for example, or squeeze like a big ball in front of you as you're doing certain CARS. But we're doing level 1, and that's the one that Bre and I are doing every morning. So you stand tall, you can bring the feet about hip width distance apart, a little bit shorter, and you try to irradiate. That means you're holding tension in the body, and that tension is supporting the movement that you're doing, in this case the reaching the arm up and over the head and back. So what you want to do, what we're doing in fast, is something like this. And then we come back. But a lot slower. What I don't want to see is something like this. It's of course exaggerated, but if you feel like you're hitting that end range, and you will, and you should, then your natural tendency is to move away to make it work and bring the arm back, but you're trying to stay there with the whole body, irradiate, engage everything, and then you slowly move, super slow. It takes lots of concentration as well, and focus. You move back, and then you come back forward. So we're starting with the right side. You can bring the left hand to your right side rib cage. You externally rotate the right hand and the right arm first, which comes from the shoulder. You bring that next to your body. Keep the arm straight the whole time. Don't start to bend the arm, especially when you come overhead. You then move the hand towards the midline. Keep the external rotation, and you slowly move up towards the right ear. Keep everything stable. Don't move anything else. Now you internally rotate and you slowly move back. Internally rotate, slowly move back, and then touch with the back of your hand kind of next to your right hip. Then you reverse it, slowly reach back. You keep that internal rotation, don't move anything else. Externally rotate, reach the arm back and up and over the head. Keep breathing. Now start to externally rotate to the midline and next to your right hip. Let's do one more. Forward and up. Now you start to internally rotate. Keep the arm straight. Don't move anything else. Move slowly back. Touch next to the hip and reverse it. Very good. Release, relax, shake out a little bit, and let's do the other side. Touch the left rib cage. Externally rotate the arm. Now you know how it's going, so we just do 2 more on the left side. Just do your best to keep the arm straight and don't move anything else. Touch the left hip with the back side of the hand and then reverse it. And we'll do one more, just like that. Again, keep everything stable, everything engaged. Keep the breath going. You might start to shake, a little sweat. At least for me, because it takes so much concentration and neural drive to fire all these neurons and work on your end range. Very good. Beautiful job. Relax. Good work. We just do one more for the scapula, so it's kind of complete the shoulder with the scapula and the glenohumeral joint. Again, same stance. Bring the hands close to your body, keep the arms straight, and we're now moving only the shoulders. What we call usually the shoulders, like shrugging the shoulders up and back or down. And imagine you have 2 markers sticking out to the sides and 2 whiteboards, and you want to draw a very big circle with those markers. Hands to the sides, keep the arms straight, pull the shoulders up, and then move the shoulders forward and down, make a big circle. When you get to the lowest point of that circle, don't move anything else. You pull the shoulders back and slowly move up. Try to keep the hands connected to the legs, to the sides of the legs. And then once you're at the top, go back and down. Forward and up. One more round, forward and down, back and up, big circle. Keep the hands connected to the side body, back and down, finishing up, forward and up, and relax. Very good. So it takes a lot to work on this joint mobility. Like I said earlier, it's a long video and we just warmed up. We're now just ready to get to the actual mobility exercise. So let's get down on the mat, grab the blocks, the cooking pot, whatever else you have to build a little structure, a little box kind of structure. Get that all now. All right, meet me down here on the ground and have the blocks or whatever you have next to you and in reach. We will do this exercise on our belly, reaching the arm forward, up and over our head. So the same position that you're in when you're doing a handstand, when you're doing downward facing dog, puppy pose, any of that. So it's very specific to open up the shoulders for these kind of movements. So I believe that it will really help with your handstand and your down dog, and in general just to feel better and move better and have healthier, independent joints. So what we're doing is we bend one arm. So we start with the left so you can see better the first side. We bend the arm we're not using right now and bring that close to the body like this, because you tend to lift the shoulder up and maybe even lean to your side, and it's kind of blocking that a little bit. So we have that arm like this. You can keep the palm on the ground. The arm we're working on, in this case the left side, the left arm first, it's going to be extended up and over the head, straight forward, and you externally rotate so that the left thumb is pointing upwards. Then when we do the exercise, you rest your forehead down to the ground and keep it down throughout the entire exercise, but I will now keep it lifted just so that you can hear me better. What we're trying to do or get to the point where you build a structure so high that you cannot lift your arm up off the structure anymore. So if we try out this height for me right now, I can lift my arm up off the block. So I would put another block. And then I try again. Put the arm externally rotate, thumb is pointing up, forehead down, and then try to lift up off the block. I can still lift up, so I would probably try a third block. And then I now cannot lift up. So that's the height for me, but maybe you are at 1 block or even less, or 2 or maybe 5 blocks, and you have way more range of motion here than me. That's perfectly fine. So build that structure high enough now so that you cannot lift the hand up and off the block. And we'll just hang out here for about 2 minutes. And we give the body some time and the shoulder to open up. I'll keep my head lifted just to talk so that you can hear me better, but for the exercise, you want to keep the forehead down, so you just listen. When I do this on my own, I obviously also keep my forehead down. It's just now for the purpose of this video. Keep relaxing here. Keep opening up that shoulder, and I will explain a little bit what we're going to do. So the technique we're using is PAILS rails, progressive angular isometric loading, and regressive angular isometric loading. So we are in our end range. The end range is where you are at right now, where you cannot lift your hand or your arm up off the block. This is your end range. And we're trying to increase that in a very active way with internal strength. So it's strength training for the joint. In this case, the glenohumeral joint, the shoulder. There's 2 parts to this exercise, and we're doing 2 rounds. The first part of the first round is to push the hand, the arm down into the block as much as you can. And we're holding that with all the strength we have in a safe way for about 15 seconds. And then you relax, and then you immediately try to lift the hand up off the block or off the structure. Nothing will move there. Your arm will not visibly move up off the block, but you're working with the internal strength. Since we're in the end range, there should not be any movement. Otherwise, you're not deep enough in this position. So first you're pushing down, you're holding for 15 seconds, then relax shortly, and then lift up. 15 seconds hold. Then we relax for a little bit longer, and then 1 more round, and then we switch to the other arm. So this should be about 2 minutes of a hold now. You can now start to relax the forehead down if it's lifted, if you were looking at the screen, and then start to press the arm, the hand down into the block with about 20% effort. Increase to 40%, 60%, 80%, press it down, and then press down 100%, your greatest, safest effort. Push all down into the block. And then hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another 10, 9, keep pushing down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, don't move. Now try to lift the arm up off the block. With all your internal strength, try to lift up. Lift up more internal strength. Lift up higher. Of course, nothing is moving, but try your best. Internal strength. Lift, lift, lift. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Don't move, just keep the arm there. If you feel like you have now opened up more range of motion and you can all of a sudden lift the arm up off the block, then put something small on top, like a towel or so, maybe for next time. For now, just stay there, but know that you can always increase if you do several rounds. We're only doing 2 rounds today, But I recommend in your own time to do 3 or 4 rounds, maybe twice a week for each arm. Let's do the second round, last round here on this side. Forehead down, start to press the hand down, 20%. Increase to 40, 60, 80, and 100%. Safest, greatest effort, push down. Hold for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Flex everything in the body, the feet, the other arm, the core, the back. 3, 2, 1. Relax and engage everything again. Lift the left arm up off the structure, off the block. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Stay there. Take 3 breaths. And then slowly release. Beautiful work. This is hard stuff, right? That's the other side. Mobility training is tough. It is different than flexibility training, where you can also relax into the pose. Mobility is always very active, lots of strength, lots of internal strength coming from the joint. Difference between mobility and flexibility is that for flexibility you move into a certain range of motion which is accessible only through external force, for example gravity. So this is my flexibility of my right shoulder. I can have my forehead down and my arm goes past my ears. But if I do this without gravity and just with internal strength, I cannot bring my arm as high up. But with the block I can go a lot higher. Probably even higher than that. So we're working on this range of motion that we can actively control with the strength from within. Let's move to the other side. So set everything up, put the arm onto the structure. I'll just say block from now on, even though it might be a cooking pot you're using at home. Bend this arm, have it next to you so you're not leaning over. And again, we're trying to not move anything else, only this right side, and everything else is engaged. For now, just relax. Forehead down. And let the shoulder open up. Let's get ready for the first round of PAILS rails. Start to push the arm down into the block. Keep the forehead on the ground. 20% effort. 40%. Press more. 60%. 80%. And 100%. Your greatest, safest effort. Press down. Keep pressing. Engage everything else in your body. Irradiate. Don't move anything else. Keep pushing down. Hold for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, and then do the opposite. Lift the arm up off the block. Your greatest effort, try to lift, 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 although nothing is moving. We're holding for 15, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Keep the arm there on the block. Move potentially deeper into the new end range you just opened up. And we'll do one more round, the last round. Let's start to press the arm down into the block. Firm everything else in your body. Keep pushing more, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%, your greatest, safest effort. Keep pushing. 15, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and do the opposite. Lift the arm up off the block as much as you can. 15, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Lift, lift, lift. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Stay there for 3 breaths just to finish up. So in your own time, you then could do 1 or 2 more rounds of exactly this. So if you do first all the rounds on one side and then all the rounds on the other side. Usually 2 or 3 rounds is enough, but you can also increase and do a little bit more. And then just pay attention to your rest so you recover enough. Slowly release. Beautiful work. Come to a seated position. Beautiful job. I know it's a lot of very hard work, and it's also a massive video because, as you saw, there's so much to explain. If we taught you all the principles about mobility and then just say, okay, pails, rails, now rails, hold for 15, it's a lot faster. But since a lot of you watching are very new to this whole concept of mobility training, there's just so much more to explain. So we hope you learned something with this video. You took something away from it. You can basically do pails, rails, what we did, where you first contract the muscles, where you feel a stretch, and then you do the opposite. You can basically do this in any position. So if you want to work on your ankles, your feet, or your hips, or any other joint, your fingers, your toes, you can totally do the same principles. Or open your shoulder more like this, or like down. You can do that. You can apply the same principles to it. We have other mobility videos here on the channel. Bre has recorded a couple of videos for the hips, for flexion, so bringing the thigh up to the chest, extension, bringing the thigh back, for example, good for low lunge and crescent lunge and all these things, also for back bends, because back bends are full body, so the hips are involved as well. And also external rotation of the hips, so externally rotating the thigh, for example, butterfly, seated straddle, forward fold, all these kind of shapes you come into in your yoga practice, where you can get to a certain degree with just staying there and stretching and working on your flexibility, but it's all mostly passive, and this is, with this training, very active mobility training. Also internal rotation, and we will add over time more and more for every single joint, and maybe even make a whole mobility program out of it. You will most likely feel this in your shoulders tomorrow. You might feel some soreness coming from the shoulder joint. It feels very different than if you did a lot of planks or chaturangas with Bre in a strength training class. It will feel different. Just give it some time to heal and to rest. Just like with every training, you get actually stronger in the times when you rest. So give it a few days, maybe 1 or 2 days, and then you can work on it again if you want. I recommend in general to work on this with this specific exercise 2 times a week, maybe 3, if you feel like it and if you really need the shoulder opening, and then just see how it feels and how it goes with your down dog, with your handstand and all of it. Keep opening the shoulders. Think more of biceps to the ears, especially for the handstand. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. With love and gratitude, namaste.